Greetings, everyone. My name is Jonathan Brooks, and today I'd like to discuss the crisis response, opportunities, and solutions deck prepared for the Volkswagen Automotive Group. A special thank you to all the corporate executives I've had the opportunity of working with over the last 2-3 months to prepare this presentation. Currently, I'm a Master of Business Administration student at the Johns Hopkins Carey Business School, and I'm also a senior consultant working with Deloitte in our workforce analytics practice. Before moving forward, it's important that we set the stage and understand what type of crises have occurred in the past and how we typically responded to them. Looking back to the Dieselgate crisis of 2015, we prepared a brief timeline to outline what happened. In 2014, US researchers discovered that VW diesel cars emitted up to 40 times the US limit of nitrogen oxide when cars were on the road. In 2015, VW admitted to installing software to reduce emissions during lab tests. And in 2016, VW paid back almost $15 billion in buybacks, compensation, and penalties to the US government. That figure does not include any payments paid to the EU. What this timeline shows us is, one, crises do occur, and two, they can have expansive impacts. How do we prepare for the future? The edge. There's no honest way to explain it because only the people who really know where it is are the ones who've gone over. A quote by author Hunter S. Thompson. What this quote says is, those of us who've gone through a crisis are those of us who are best prepared to respond to the next one and ensure we're setting ourselves up for a path for success. And it's important that we take that mindset into ongoing crisis communication planning going forward. To understand what we could have done differently, we've dissected the crisis into different stages. And for the purposes of today's discussion, we'll go through the early and the mid stages. Initially, it's important that we produce consistent and transparent messaging to maintain consumer confidence and trust in less than 24 hours. In today's 24-hour news cycle, when information is made public, it is jumped on by blogs, it's jumped on by various social media outlets. And it's important that for consumers, they have an official and consistent way to understand Volkswagen's response. And the best way to do that is to immediately put out a message using holding language if we don't know what's going on, or using consistent language that we can build on going forward. In the middle of the crisis, it's important that we provide ongoing updates rather than having news being broken by the media. It's important that we communicate with employees so they know what, if any, impacts it will have on them. How do we do this? We implement these changes. We implement these changes in the organization through the standardized crisis management plan that would be disseminated to all employees and taught through training. There would also be a development of a crisis management team, and also we would ensure that all employees go for crisis management training. The basic elements of the crisis management plan are described to the right in 9 simple steps. As you'll see, most of the steps hinge on the CMT. The CMT, or the crisis management plan, is an executive group that would serve as a crisis response governing unit charged with leading the company through or preventing such an occurrence. We recommend the following executives be added to the CMT team, and they be activated following a 4-step simple process. Another critical element of the crisis management plan, as shown on the screen, are crisis definitions, crisis scenarios, and reference guides. Understanding who the crisis management team, their responsibilities, where they meet, and their general plans is important for any employee to see and understand in a crisis. Another critical element of that plan is a communication strategy. Communication can often be the make or break in any crisis. Some elements of the communication strategy include activating the team, gathering as much information as possible, developing and disseminating communications for internal and external stakeholders, using an established approval process, and so forth. These elements will ensure that 1, Volkswagen is communicating consistently and fairly, and 2, following the guides outlined in this strategy will ensure that Volkswagen is set up for success. Thank you. What I've learned is that crises can be crazy and they can have huge impacts. Thanks.